now 9:24 a.m. The participants are just beginning to arrive. Good afternoon. It's now 1 o'clock on top of the Aleppo Temple. It is February the...
January 23rd.
January the 23rd, 1988.
Thank you very much. Colonel Rivers, Divan, past potentates, nobles, ladies and gentlemen. Before I share with you a few remarks, I would like to introduce just a few people who are here tonight, and perhaps it's a little unorthodox in the manner in which I'm going to do it, but I hope you will accept it. I'd like to call off the names of some of the real hard workers of Aleppo Temple and ask you not to applaud until we finish one particular group. And if those who I call off would just stand and remain standing, I'll tell you when I have finished a particular group, and then let's give them a good round of applause. The first gentleman I'd like to introduce to you is kind of working behind the scenes. Tonight he's working on the scenes, taking the scenes. And that's our projectionist, Robert Bugelman. He'll just remain put right there, Bob. our Chief Electrician Emeritus, Eugene Sullivan, and his lady Muriel. Would you please stand and remain standing? Our Parade Marshal, Jackson B. Walker and Jackie. Assistant Chief of Staff, Myers Shockett and Sandra. Personal aide, Fred Sternberg. I think Dorothy is not with us tonight, but we hope she's feeling better and can join us at the next occasion. Assistant Chief Aide, Carlton Higgins and Rachel. Carlton, where is Carlton? There you go. Where's Rachel? Rachel, are you standing? There you go, I see you. And Chief Aide, Babe Chase and Louise. Luigi, that's how I call her. Ceremonial Director Peter Bass and Rosemary. I saw them in the back there. Good. And I promise you for the next affair, the audio will be heard in that part of the room. I understand they haven't connected the electric wires yet to those extensions, and it's difficult to hear. But unofficially, I'm telling Cappy that it should be done, and I got a complaint tonight, and it will be done for the next affair. Please remain standing. Imperial Public Relations Officer Harold W. Foley. Assistant Chief Surgeon Dr. Robert Ober and Thelma. The Chief Surgeon Dr. Ed Faulkner and his lovely lady Dorothy. And the Inner Guard Ed Jenkins and Natalie. Now let's hear it for all of those. Thank you very much for coming. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you the leadership of Aleppo Temple, some who are present and look to the future, and some who have paved the way, that the bumps in the roads of progress for Aleppo have been smooth. And at this particular time, I would like to present to you a noble who's a hard-working man that I've had the pleasure of appointing, the second ceremonial master, Robert L. Pan, and his lovely lady, Sylvia. Bob and Sylvia. First ceremonial master who just got in from Florida over the road, and I appreciate his being here, and through the courtesy of his employees, you will love, I hope, the beautiful crystal ball as it turns and shows all the reflections of the crystals in light. Jean A. Capobianco, and we know that Barbara is resting, so she'll be ready for you when you come home. Our junior past potentate, a noble who I've had the pleasure of working with for many years, and I finally got to the point where he is junior to me. Our junior past potentate, Paul Miller, and his lovely lady, Barbara. The next noble I had the pleasure of working with, and I would say for, but I wasn't working for him because I didn't get any pay. I was working for Aleppo Temple. But it was always a pleasure to be with this past potentate because he gave me carte blanche on any project that he assigned me to. It was a pleasure to serve him and Aleppo Temple. The man that was the potentate during the imperial session, past potentate Richard F. Norris and his lovely lady Mary. The next noble was a very hard-working noble, and he made sure that every nail was put in its proper place and every piece of lumber was allotted to the right area. A very hard-working, endless, tireless working noble for Aleppo Temple. A man who you will remember was a very dedicated potentate. I'd like to present to you past potentate Ken Gott and Martha, his lovely lady Martha. The next fella is perhaps one of my greatest critics, but I love him. He happens to be the man that put me in line, and I'm glad, I hope that I proved myself as a ceremonial master to have become elected into the divan, and thank God, through the graces of our supreme architect, I have made it to this position, but I owe a great deal of it to the counsel of a man who was perhaps one of the most dedicated nobles, and a man who is a shrine mason all the way. My shrine father, past potentate Earl Douglas Leake, and his lovely lady Rita. I saw a man here earlier, but I know he had an emergency, and I think he has left. But if he hasn't, I recognize him, and if he has left, I'm sure that it was for a very important reason. And I speak of a man who was perhaps one of the ones instrumental in bringing us to Wilmington, past potentate Frank Staples and Marjorie. I believe they have left, but I think we ought to give them a round of applause anyway. There was supposed to be here tonight a noble that is perhaps the grandfather of those who were to be here tonight, and I want to just pay homage to him. I think he is not here, but I want you to know that we appreciate the efforts of this past potentate, whether he's here or he isn't. And that's past potentate Carl R. McKinney and his lovely lady Lillian. Now everybody always is afraid and worried that I won't introduce my wonderful lady, but I'm going to do that now, so just be at ease. And I want you to know that she's up with me every day at 5:30 in the morning, and she serves me breakfast to be sure that I get off to a good start to go to work. And so far it's worked out pretty well. And I want you to know, nobles and ladies, that my lovely lady is behind me 1,000%. And although it might be difficult at times, we try to make everything very understanding. As long as she does everything the way I think it should be, there's no problem. I'd love very much to present to you my beautiful and very lovely lady, Betty. Now, nobles, I'm not introducing the divan to you tonight because they were introduced as they took their place at the head table. But I just want to share with you for a couple of minutes my thoughts, and perhaps I'm not going to go through all the programs because we want to really enjoy the evening and want you to have plenty of time to dance under the revolving crystal ball. Make believe you go way back when, and I'm not going to tell you how far back, but some of you remember the totem pole. Not me, because I wasn't here in those days. But I understand it was very beautiful. And we're going to dim the lights down low. And ladies, be careful when you get home, because the romantic mood is going to be set. And I want you to remember way back when. But before we go into that, won't work? Call on me. Nobles, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know it is a real pleasure for my Lady Betty and me to be here tonight. We are so pleased with the turnout and the response that you have given to your Colonel for this very lovely evening. I know that you have heard me say it before, I'm going to say it again because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. 1986, as far as I'm concerned, is the year of the troops. And the troops are going to benefit to the best of my ability. We're going to share and share alike, because without the troops, there is no need for a potentate. I mean it sincerely, and I thank you very much for being here. There are one or two programs that I'd like to share with you. And the first one is strictly a social activity. But as many of you know, and many of you here tonight are going to join my Lady Betty and me on a very beautiful week in Acapulco, I want to tell you that we have just 5 rooms left. The trip is going to be March 13th through the 20th. I'd love very much to sell out those 5 rooms, have you join us for a very lovely week. I've told you before, the weather is guaranteed at least 80 degrees every day, and it goes down to 60 at night. We're staying at one of the finest hotels in any resort of the world, the Hyatt Regency. There's nothing to be concerned about the water or the food. They have their own purifying plant. We have our own lovely beach, a private beach. We're flying on scheduled airlines. The trip will be a great trip. And for you ladies, I know the men aren't interested, but for you ladies, there is a great deal of shopping right on the beach. And if you will see me, I will interpret the vendors and talk to them in their native tongue and guarantee you the best buys. And ladies, I want you to notice the beautiful color on the bikinis that you'll see on the beach. The men aren't interested in the color, but it happens that sometimes they don't even see the bikinis. So join with me. The cost is only $785, all inclusive. There is no extra asterisk for taxes or gratuities. Everything is included. If you are interested, please join with me. I have several brochures here. In all sincerity, we only have 5 rooms left, and I'd love very much to have you come with us. Another program that we are very much interested in, because it is the vital principle. It is the vital principle of Aleppo Temple. And that is our membership program. We have a dynamic membership committee this year under the leadership of past potentate Earl Douglas Leake. We are doing everything we can to meet a quota that has been presented to me by the Imperial Potentate Sir Walker Kisselberg. That quota is 651 new candidates. It hasn't been done in over 20 years. But I promise you this, with the efforts and the dedicated service of our membership committee, that we will make that goal, because I'm going to appoint each and every noble here tonight a member of that membership committee, because we're going to do it, and we're going to do it strong. We're going to have a great year with membership, and we're going to turn that graph around, and we're going to put it on the upswing, because it's been difficult over the past 20 years, and we have seen a drop in membership constantly. It's the desire of the imperial officers to put a strong campaign. As you know, we took in 202 new candidates in January, and I was pleased. And the committee is working very hard, and I know that they would like you to support them. If only each one of you would bring in one new candidate, we would have double the amount of the people in here of the nobles in our June class. We must strive for a goal of 350 in June. June 7th is the date. Any new candidate that came in January has been invited to be at a beautiful ball that we're going to have here in this Fez room. The candidate and his lady, the sponsor and his lady. And yes, nobles, you too are invited. You're invited here free of charge to a beautiful gala ball. We're having our great swing band of 22 pieces play for us. You're invited here free of charge. All you have to do is bring an application, a candidate, and a check for $125. But the dance is free. Let's fill this hall, and let's force our membership chairman to say, please, Ralph, let's move to the auditorium. We have already about 300 people coming on March 7th. It will be a beautiful evening. All of our units, captains, and the heads of the units will be in their full regalia to show our new candidates what Aleppo Temple is all about. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful evening with us. Don't hesitate to bring in the candidate. If you can't get them in so that they can come to March 7th, we're having another new candidates night. We hope it's July 16th. At that particular one, the Imperial Potentate 1987 will be here. We will be his host, and you'll have a gala evening. Scottish Rite is having classes 4 Fridays in April, which will still give you time to get your candidate in June. The commandery, I'm sorry to tell you that I don't have the dates, but I am working on that, and I will have those dates very shortly and hope to publish it in the Aleppo News. So much for candidates, so much for membership, and please, I want everyone here to have a very lovely evening. Enjoy yourselves, and I thank you so much for being here to share with me this beautiful reception. Thank you.
Man, so I'm sorry I left you on, Charlie. It was a mistake, believe me. Next, I'd like to present a little gift from the uniform units as a whole to illustrious sir. If you'll accept this. I'll let you see it first.
Colonel, I thank you and all the uniform units for this beautiful present. And come January 31st, 1987, it'll be in a car with me and my lovely lady Betty on the way down to Florida. Thank you.
The band over there. I'd like somebody at every table to take out a coin, and we'll pass it around, and if the band will play a number, even if it's only a couple of instruments. And when the band stops, whoever has the coin gets the centerpiece. So if somebody will donate a coin at every table.
Music doesn't start yet.
No, we should have one of our own.
Great.
This is drawing for a clock radio with a telephone that sets into the rear of it. Carol Stange, I believe it is. St. Ange? Looks like S-T-E-A-G-E. Carol. O-N-G-E? is for the portable radio we have over here. The name is Modem. Joanne, is it? Modem. Modine, I'm sorry, M-O-D-E-N. Modine, right. And she's trying. Well, that's it. Now, I hope you all get up here and do a lot of dancing and the backup.